Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to another exciting edition of the weekly AMA. And this one is special, and you all know why. Today is the 3-year anniversary of Ergo. So we went mainnet 3 years ago exactly today. We're 3 years old, not old enough to drink or drive, but old enough to be freaking decentralized. That's for sure. And so, yeah, it's just been a crazy, well, I mean, you guys have actually, a lot of you have been with this project much longer than I have. So I don't have to tell you what kind of ride it's been. But just so that we have some real veterans here, we got none other than Joe, and coming from his evil underground lair, Alex, for our special Ergo anniversary AMA today. So say hi to everybody, Joe and Alex.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Anniversary.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll get a lot in store for you today. We got some really nice announcements. We got the results of Ergohack, right, Joe? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Should we get into that right
now? So let's do a quick update of what, just kind of get things, let the community know what we've been up to, and then we can get to that. Right. So from my end, what I've been doing is I've been concentrating a lot on system fund and funding vehicles for the Ergo ecosystem. I've also spoken to Catalyst about creating something, together with Catalyst, so that we can utilize some of the community treasury from Cardano, just because we have a lot of similar work streams that we can engage in. We're going to have more detailed talks next week, and from moving on from that, we're still working on the exchange guide, still going on, still happening. And so, yeah, we'll have more updates for you on that as they, as the news comes out from the front line. But that, again, is an active development. I know, guys, it's taken a while. We get the questions all the time. When? What I got to say about that, right, is the good thing about being listed on the tier 1 is that you will get more exposure, right? We will get more exposure for Ergo, and that's what we're looking for. However, I got to tell you guys, we know that there are some people, and we don't really have too many in the Ergo community, which I am really happy about, but we do have, once in a while, we get some moon boys in, and I just got to say that, the listing on the tier 1 is not to pump price. It's to get more exposure to Ergo. Especially in this market, you don't know what's going to happen as far as price. You should not look at that as being our key value takeaway from being listed on the tier 1. What our key value being taken away would be more exposure to Ergo, and giving people easier access to acquiring Ergo so that they can participate in the ecosystem. That's what we're looking for. That is why it's important for us to be there. So that, I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I think, some people are kind of chasing the pump, and that's why we're thinking, Binance, when tier 1s. And like I said, we really need to understand what our expectations are there. And like I said, my key expectation and my key goal here is to bring more exposure to Ergo and to give it easier access for people to be in the ecosystem. So that's about it for me. What about you, Joe? What have you been up to this week?
Sure, it's been a busy week. We're going to have a series of videos that have already been coming out to cover the kind of Ergoversary with some content that users can watch. Alex has some pretty big news in terms of 5.0. You want to get into that, Alex?
Right now, you mean?
Yeah.
All right. So, yesterday we launched a new testnet to test 5.0 activation and then 5.0 itself. So, activation is already done, like maybe 1 or 2 hours ago. Everything is well there. So now it's running on the updated protocol version, and now we can start testing contracts against 5.0. Measuring performance boost and so on. Testnet Explorer probably still not updated, but will be updated today. And there are already some nodes in the network, and things are going well.
It's exciting times.
Yeah, a lot of really cool stuff happening.
So I guess we will test it for a few weeks, and then we'll propose miners to vote on it in the mainnet.
Great news.
Yeah, really awesome news. I mean, there, like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening this week. I also recorded the video today with CW. And so we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about working in the Ergo ecosystem. We spoke about Zengate as well, and also I'm just gonna let you know that in the video that is going to be coming out, I'm going to give more details about this special thing that I'm trying to do with Zengate and to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Ergo. So, watch the video. CW will let us know when those are available to watch, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Right. So Joe, what else do we got? We got a lot of stuff. We got a list.
Well, I think one thing we should get off is the hackathon results. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. We finally heard back from all the judges this week. There was a lot of good projects, a lot of good submissions. So, you can do your drum roll. The first place winner for the Ergohack Fest is going to be the project Multisig. The second place winner is going to be Oracle Pools 2. The third place winner is going to be Ergo Sock Ergo Node. That's made by Adberg, the cat developer. That's all I know him as. And we also had a whale donate 2 prizes, one for the Ergo GraphQL team and the other for Night Owl with their React build. We had a lot of really great submissions from various teams. The community also has put together some polls in terms of what they found the most interesting. And so, like, honorable mention here would be Night Owl, Ergo Nation, and Dapp Step. So what we'll do is we'll try to get the team in touch with all of the teams that participated and make sure that the prizes are coming out. It's always great to see open source development and documentation, and we had a lot of really good builds this time around. I'm really looking forward to the next one.
There is also a Dark Fund Zero prize, which will be announced around Monday, I guess. Those 2 prizes are from Good Whale Fund, and there is another from Dark Fund Zero coming.
So there you go. We have another prize that's still to be released. So stay tuned.
You guys should say it with a little bit more. I don't know. Just a little bit more theatrics. I mean, you're saying Dark Fund Zero, right? Yeah. You're saying Dark Fund Zero, right? And you're saying it like Dark Fund Zero. You're gonna say Dark Fun Zero.
Yeah, there's
Come
no
on.
relationship. There's no relationship with the Dark Lord of programming. They're just, two. Maybe they're friends. I don't know.
Oh, it was established
it's-
by a guy with a nickname Dark Side of Brr.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it means.
Well, it's all darkness. Darkness is here. Hey, darkness. That's a Chappelle Show reference for all you young kids. All right. Well, so do we, guys, Joe, Alex, do you have anything else before we move on to the questions?
No, let's hop in and see what the community has to say, what they want to talk about.
All right.
All right.
Maybe one note from me. So we have 5.0 activation testnet, right? And yeah, it's good to discuss further steps towards protocol development. So I like to propose to have maybe a community chat on that in a few weeks. So we are going to have Ergo Summit soon, right? And yeah, after Ergo Summit, like maybe 2 weeks after, let's have a community chat on the further possible improvements to the.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Ergo Summit. Looking forward to that as well. Sounds awesome. Well, anyway, guys.
Yeah, so it seems like we have a hot summer, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be busy.
Yeah, it's we got like 57,000 Ergo hacks, Ergo Summit. We had our Ergo meetup in Austin. It's just things are getting more and more fun with Ergo. We're still naming a lot of stuff Ergo though, but I guess
We switched. There's things being called Sigma now too, Dan. We're growing.
Okay, yes. There's Sigma stuff. Okay. All right, okay. You got me on that one, Joe. I'll let you slide this time. But it won't be like that forever. All right, guys. So let's get to some questions here. So we got a question from Daniel Manley. I hope I'm pronouncing the last name right. If you think Manley. In the future, how will people access Ergo Dapps from their phone? Cardano is planning on essentially creating their own Dapp store. Will Ergo have something similar?
Sure, I'll take that. I've already talked with Nemo, and I know that there is a desire to create open source off-chain references in TypeScript for multiple dApps in the Ergo ecosystem. It's a good question. There's, I know that Cardano is working on some sort of verified or approved dApp store, I think. Is that the case, Dan?
Yeah. So there's going to be I forgot what the official way that we're going to be calling it is. I guess certified dApps that will go through the store, through the certification process. Actually, this is something that I kind of planted the seed off a few years back. But I mean, I guess it's not really that far-fetched of an idea to have a certified store. But yeah, this is something that we've been actually working on for a few years at input-output, as far as putting in certification into the dApps. So yeah, this is it's definitely something that's going to be coming out.
I do know that the Ergo mobile build already has some DApp-like support. I certainly would encourage wallet developers to look into some of the more mature wallets like Coin89, where you have multiple DApps, DEXs built into the wallet that you can interact with. I ultimately think for the mobile experience, that's what people are really looking for, is that type of interoperability across an ecosystem from a single UI, something clean and simple. And ideally, I would also, love to see this year a full node with deployable tools I think that we do have the ability to bootstrap a node right now and run a node wallet, but I think having that made a lot more user-friendly, green buttoned, would certainly assist the network in terms of getting more nodes, verifying things on our network. So I'm excited to see what's planned. I know there's a couple of things in motion with TypeScript off-chain logic and making that open source. And that is really one of the beauties of the Ergo ecosystem right now, is that a lot of the things that are being developed in parallel are open source, so it gives the ability for them to be supported across multiple wallets.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the key here is more access, right? I mean, that's what really a good wallet software creates, is more access to to utilizing the network. And that's why we're all looking for hardware wallet integration. We're looking for something that's full nodes, got tools. We're also looking for light wallets that can give us some variety within the ecosystem. So all these things they're basically access points into the ecosystem, and it's very important to have them. So let's move on to our next question. So this is actually coming from Reddit, and so this is not a question that CW asked, even though it says CW. So this is from Ergohood, and says, if you could say one thing that you would change during the last year of Ergo's development, what would it be? And best regards and happy birthday to Ergo.
Hey, you want to take that, Alex? You want me to?
Alex, why don't you go first?
Yeah, sorry. What's the question about?
Basically, if you could change one thing about last year's development, what would it be from your perspective?
Oh, so if I could change anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. So happily less and less control from the core team, the ecosystem development, and yeah, that's actually quite a good thing. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would probably just say I would like to see more engagement in Ergohack events. I think we could do better in terms of having the documentation in place, that it becomes easier for new developers to come in and build on Ergo. And I think that's ultimately like a process. It's something we've grown a lot with since the first Ergohack, but having like core references in place and documentation organized would really make a big difference in terms of onboarding new developers into the ecosystem.
Yeah, so there were some projects during this Ergohack Fest to do new tutorials, for example, right? So it's good that the ecosystem is bootstrapping itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so actually this Hack Fest was huge. So yeah, it took a long time to evaluate all the 18 projects. So yes, sorry for delays, but as I see from outside how judges worked, so yeah, it was not simple process to judgment. And yeah, if we are thinking about even bigger hackathons, then yeah, we need to improve how things are organized, probably. So yeah, it's going to be a big deal, actually, it seems.
Yeah, and I mean, from my end, I would say, I wouldn't really change anything. I wouldn't really change anything because I really think that everything that happened with Ergo last year Well, at least as long as I was with the project, and well, in the last whatever 6 months that I've been with the project, all these things are crucial to development, to our ecosystem development. And as you can see, the ecosystem has been just growing and expanding and exploding. I mean, one thing that I wish I could improve, and this might be an obvious thing, is just getting more people. I mean, even more people into Ergo. And I know there's always room for improvement there, but that's really the only thing that I can think of if I had to choose something that I could change, it could improve, is find ways to bring more people into the Ergo ecosystem. Because I mean, it's what we have here is amazing. It's as it was said in Aladdin, a diamond in the rough. And just really wish more people would realize that in larger numbers, but it will come. So I guess that's my 25 cents or whatever, 2 cents. Yeah, there we go, 2 cents. All right, let's move on to the next question here. So we have another question from Reddit. Again, this is not CW asking. Don't be mistaken. And so this question is from Just Delete PA. And it's for Alex. If starting tomorrow you had enough time, resources, and motivation, what would be the first thing you do to improve Ergo or the blockchain space in general? So this is a pretty big question, Alex. What would you do?
So in the past, probably the same. So the question is how to improve the situation now, I guess. Well, currently the space is going into the painful process of self recovery, right? Healing itself from scams, right, and centralized financial projects. The question is not how to get rid of the old scams and get new ones, right? For another bull market. The question is how to significantly improve what do we have and how to get into really decentralized finance. Yeah, so I have some thoughts about that, but that's probably for a long chat. So I actually think to propose one in coming weeks. Let's see. We already have a lot planned. So maybe around Ergo Summit or something like that, or maybe after the core protocol improvements chat. So mid-August, maybe. Maybe I will have some writing by that with some thoughts of mine.
All right, so I guess Alex is not going to disclose very much to us. He is going to leave us in a world of anticipation, but hopefully you'll give us some more of your of your thoughts on the matter at some point really soon. Let's see. We have a question here from a gentleman by the name of Sam Lambert. I think I know this guy. What are the key? Okay. What are the key themes that you would like to emerge in the next 2 to 3 years in the space? What use cases outside of crypto industry do you see having an immediate impact? So maybe how about you tackle that one, Joe?
Sure. I think that the crypto industry as a whole needs to mature in terms of time horizons. I think sometimes that's very much media driven in this space, where it was like throughout this last cycle, there was like a 2-week hype period over one random thing to another random thing to another random thing. Oh, it's gaming. Oh, it's metaverse. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And, liquidity kind of followed, ebbed and flowed after that particular concept. I actually think that the space has largely under-delivered the initial core promises of P2P cash, and, actually getting financial tools off-chain and plugged into regular people. So, I know that the use case in crypto is always the sexiest thing driving marketing, but I think that the core initial proposals still hasn't fully been realized or delivered yet, whether that's P2P or DeFi. I know a lot of people will want to say gaming, but gaming takes a lot of time and resources to develop something that is, quite solid, quite well developed. There's usually, for big companies, like sometimes up to a decade of gaming development. So I actually think that instead of chasing that new fancy thing in the future and all, looking from shiny object to shiny object, we need to get away from that raccoon mentality and simply deliver on the core principles of the space. And as we do that, I think we'll expand into use cases. But in my opinion, that kind of core essence of peer-to-peer decentralized finance still is something that really could mature a lot. And the reality is, if you look at what's happening in the space in terms of, centralized lenders taking, unknown risks that are not collateralized properly, we just inherited the worst part of the traditional financial system into crypto. Everything was off-chain. Assumptions were not known. So, in a way, this is garbage. We need to get back to the kind of core initial vision of real P2P finance, get things on chain, make them transparent, get the assumptions known, and then we can build something solid.
I very much agree. Sorry, so can I continue?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it,
so,
Alex.
Yeah, it's also should be accessible and simple. So here I'm closely watching what Will Radic is doing in Kenya. He's helping local communities there to run community currencies. Have grassroots instruments to issue credit notes, right, and build local economies on top of that. And USSD interface is still the most popular there after Bangladesh. Digital currency. He is providing USSD interface even. If you guys remember what's that. He's doing things quite successfully. Without any support from big players, already he's writing like 1,000 transactions a day into a blockchain, right? There are a lot of limitations from blockchain side, right? Such as transaction fees, right? So we need somehow to minimize them or to run things on layer 2 mostly, and so on, so on. So I think delivering working financial tools, right, so where they're needed is the step to really reorganize things around.
Yeah, I think that, I really agree with what you guys have to say about this. Joe, what you had to say about, just delivering on the original promise of P2P cash. Now, I think that we can kind of do both, right? So I am not, just kind of saying, okay, well, I know you're not saying this, but to me, kind of saying that we need to stop all this other stuff and do this first is kind of like, sounds to me like these people that say, why do we need to spend money on space exploration? We have all these problems on Earth here.
No, I just think it's mature. It's like if you have the financial incentive in place, right? And I think that oftentimes drives things much more than the actual use case or quality of product. Like crypto games are a good example. Most of them, if there were no like incentive or token that people could speculate on, I don't think anybody would play most of them, right? It just needs more time to mature, would be the word I would use.
That's exactly my point. I think that, we still have to remember what the initial promise was of peer-to-peer, transparent, decentralized economy. But we should also really understand that our original vision of how it could be accomplished needs to evolve. And all these things that are happening, like with everything, probably like 80% of it is not going to survive. But the other 20% that come out, all these new things that come out, will survive, they will evolve, they will expand, and they will drive the market further. I'm not saying that NFTs are a new thing, but think about this, right? So the last big bull run or whatever, NFTs. We had NFTs, right? We had them. 2017, we had NFTs. Did people really care? Not really. I remember talking to football teams that soccer, European football teams about tokenizing. I was actually, I talked to several, major football institutions about that. And at that point, they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, so we'll take it under advisement." Fast forward 3 years or something like that. Everybody's tripping over everybody else trying to NFT everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the NFT market back in 2017 or 2016 was something like a few $1 million, right? Something really minuscule. We're in the billions. And this is just, we're just talking about IP NFTs. We're not even talking about utility NFTs, which is what I think the future is of mainstream NFT adoption. It's not just, IP orientation, but it also has to do with, like, for example, what we're developing with the Palmyra Dex at Zengate. So there's, this technology that was there and just kind of people just discovered, okay, but you know what, you can actually do this and this and this with it to help deliver on the grand vision. And I think, for example, NFTs, especially utility NFTs, are really crucial on delivering on that initial mission of true peer-to-peer cash and true decentralized economies. So I think it's a combination, right? So we have to remember what the fundamentals are, what we're here for, what the initial mission is, not to sway, but also to understand what can help us propel what is being done to further that initial mission, and to understand that course corrections are not necessarily, doesn't mean necessarily turning around and going back home or changing where you're going completely. So that's just kind of my take on this. Again, I'm in real agreement with you guys about that. That we really need to kind of stay true to what it's all about. All right. We have a few really good questions here. Here's a question for Joe. So can you please explain the raccoon mentality and how we can escape being seduced by it?
Sure. I think that we tend to get caught up in hype narratives in the crypto industry as a whole and chase shiny things, right? And I have to ask the question, and to myself, and I would encourage everybody out there to ask the question, is that shiny thing being reflected in your direction by somebody who's already there and is trying to pull you to them, right? I do think that sometimes the education and media in this space is highly manipulative and does not really encourage people to ask the right questions. And so to some degree, I always have to say, if you were to take away the financial incentive for some of these things, would you still use it? Right? If there wasn't the seduction of, X return or, whatever percentage APY, would you still use it? Does it still make sense as a product? Because, ultimately that's what's going to drive adoption and use of these systems, is that it delivers a user experience or quality that will be adopted by people who are not speculating on it. Sometimes that shiny thing really does create, just like wild, chasing, I would say. And sometimes if you chase money, you're going to get burned. I think that's the wrong risk assessment to make with value that you create in your life. That's highly unpopular probably for this space, but I would really recommend everyone really try to put that raccoon mentality in check, because you might, it's dangerous, bottom line.
Well, it's more than dangerous. It's actually classic addictive mentality, if you think about it. Chasing, in some drug circles, it's called chasing the lady, right? You're chasing the lady of profit instead of really thinking about where that profit comes from. And of course, you have a huge amount of money flowing through this industry, right? There's virtual ease of access to this capital as well, right? So it's easier to make a bunch of money, right? It seems easier to make a bunch of money in this, right? Because there's not a lot of regulation out there. All you do is just, some people think this, right? You just put the money in the right coin or the right token and bam, it shoots up and you're a millionaire overnight, right? And this happens a lot more with crypto because it's just so volatile, right? But in the end, money is a good incentive to drive business, but it shouldn't be your only incentive, right? And you also should think about the old saying of, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. 40% APYs, probably bullshit. There's probably something wrong there.
We tend to worship the lottery winners and not look at all the people that played and didn't get anything.
Exactly. It's that's the thing. And like I said, people are always, I even have friends like that, because they know I'm successful in the market or somewhat. I'm not saying I'm like a whale or anything, but I'm successful somewhat. And they're always asking, like, well, Dan, how did you find these guys? How did you find those guys? It's all about putting yourself in the right place, right? It's not just about kind of shooting darts in the dark and hoping you're going to hit the target. You might hit the target, or you might just hit your friend in the head with the dart, and that's not going to be fun. But it's all about really the projects that I did make good profit on, or basically was able to create wealth for myself on, have always been projects that I was intimately involved in as far as understanding what they're about, believing in the mission, and not having any blank spots of magic fairy dust and rainbow farts. It's just the space of A, B, C, then the rest is blank, and then you're a millionaire. The rest of that has to be filled with something. You have to understand what's happening in that space. And that's what you're saying. It's that if that space is filled with question marks, that's you chasing those shining objects. That's what I think it is. That is the space where people are just chasing chasing the pump, chasing shiny objects instead of thinking where it's coming from and thinking if it's sustainable. Because in the end, that's what it's all about. It's about sustainability. Can you sustain a 40% APY? No, you can't. You just can't. I'm sorry. There's no way to do that. That's why nobody really does that. I mean, that's why. And like you said, Joe, right? So if your crypto project is paying out a higher APY than the average drug dealer would, there's probably something wrong, right?
Yeah. I think that's like the basic risk assessment everybody in crypto should think about. If you're outperforming cocaine trafficking in terms of your APY per year, it's probably a scam.
Absolutely. Actually, there's a question for Joe, actually. So, Joe, does your cup have bears all over it?
No, just on one side. The other side is blank. Oh, my finger's in the way. There you go. Regular cup.
Okay. Well, we solved that mystery. All right. So let's move on to a question for Alex. And so what do you and the dev team see as priorities to get done in the ecosystem and priorities to start working on?
All right. So, in regards with node development, well, it's quite clear that now it's the time to finally deliver bootstrapping with UTXO set snapshot and bootstrapping with Nipopose after 5.0. Then we have Nipopo based SPV client on top of Sigma Rust library. So I'm going to check what's there. There are some EAPs to review finally, and then implement in DApps and wallets. What else? Actually, it's all ongoing. So just time to deliver it finally. All right, so those EAPs are about Babel fees, for example, right? And then we can have wallets for custom tokens only. For example, you can have CQSD wallets, which is paying fees in CQSD as well, right? So then you can have a wallet which can show only USD, right? And then, no need to get into blockchain complexities for user. Then, there is also EP I'm currently reviewing about, encrypting messages on the blockchain and so on. Some features and improvements are coming into the Nautilus and other wallets because of new GraphQL API. This also an improvement which is on the way, and we need to finally deliver it. Just something like that.
Sounds like you have your plate full, Alex. And I'm always looking forward to getting new updates, new new tweets about all the cool stuff that's coming out. Alex is like the Ergo Santa Claus. It's like, here, this will make your network better. Like the Ergo doctor, Erg doctor. All right. right. And so we got, well, I think we got time for one, maybe two really nice questions. So, and this is about Oracle pools. So the question is, Ergo Oracle pools can be used for Polkadot, Atom, Ether only for Ergo.
Oh, so the current design is UTX oriented. I guess, yeah, it's mostly about Ergo. So you can do anything on Ethereum, right? But the question is about then how much you need to pay for that, and whether it's realistic, right, to run something on Ethereum. That's the problem with Ethereum. So theoretically, everything is possible, but what's possible in practice is a big question, actually.
Yep. And so, okay, so let's do one last question. It's a good one from Augustus Kent. And the question is, the concept is that if you would make more money on stable coins, okay, well, so this is a comment, but this is something that we could kind of, chime in on a little bit. So the concept is that if we make more money on stablecoin API, then criminals won't bother taking high risks to make less money doing drug trade. Everyone would just farm API and not bother. And,
it would stop if that were reality. Maybe we'd have all of these, let's say drug dealers, arms dealers, prostitutes, the corporate, military, industrial complex investing in stablecoin and doing nothing and growing out massive amounts of wealth over time. If that were actually sustainable, there would be no incentive to take some of the risks that are required in business to grow. Why would you need to do any R&D? Just earn your APY. Why would you need to traffic guns or,
just get a bunch of money, put it into stables, and watch it go at 40%. Who needs the headaches, right?
Yeah, who needs the headache of doing anything in life if that's free returns at that percentage? That's outperforming basically every industry in the market doing essentially nothing. Right? You're putting up some collateral, sure, but that to me is laughable. Either it's going to heal all of the problems in the world, or at some point you're going to need some healing once you get hit with reality.
Right. Right. Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of therapy involved.
I get it. So we always have some economic activity, right, on top of which you have API. So if it's on chain only, well, it's actually not hard to see where it comes from, right? So if you put money into a liquidity pool, right, then actually, there is understandable economic activity behind, right? So arbitrage possibilities, right, and volatility on markets, right? And in some cases, you can have good API with moderate risks, maybe, but those cases are quite rare, right, on the markets. If the protocol is connected with some real world activities, then high API in the real world is usually about some illegal activities, right? So the most legal option is about payday loans, but even this activity is usually heavily regulated in most countries. It's not about 400% API anyway, right? And usually, if we have high API, right, so we have then something shady behind if it's about on-chain protocols. So usually it's about some custom token money printer, right, which is sponsoring your activity for a while before the token you are getting via liquidity farming or something like that is failing.
Yeah, it leaks to market and then it debases itself every time.
Right. So then yeah, so it's sponsoring with short living money printer, right? Basically. So cryptocurrency movement started mostly with criticizing money printers, fiat currencies, right? But this is even much worse actually when you have short-living money printers.
I would have to agree with that.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, I think this is a good place for us to leave it off for today. So there's one quick piece of news. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving our AMAs to Thursday nights. So same time, same place, but on Thursdays. So starting from the 7th of July. I see Alex is really happy about that. I'm happy for Alex. Actually, I think Alex might be meditating there because I saw him just kind of sit there and be like, listen, whatever you do, Alex, it's okay with us as long as you just keep pushing out this great stuff that you've been pushing out. Okay. It doesn't matter what you do. We love you. Okay. Whatever it is that you do. You too, Joe. Okay, don't feel neglected. Okay,
that's all right.
You as well. All right,
everybody,
guys.
thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and happy Ergoversary, everyone. And here's to another 30, 300, 3,000 years, whatever. Just here's to more Ergo.
All right, so happy anniversary, everyone, and we can continue our the text chat maybe. Not sure about today, but tomorrow on Saturday, I'll try to drop some messages there. Over the Telegram, likely.
Be well, everybody.